afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2:30 Cairo local time. You're watching the news bulletin coming to you from Channel 2. This is Lamia Abdel-Sattar. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli underscored that the government is paying great attention to elevate the citizens' standard of living and sets future plans to continue working on improving living conditions as well as providing basic services at highest quality. The Prime Minister's remarks came during a tour at the 10th of Ramadan city to inspect a number of developmental, service and housing projects. The Prime Minister said the tour comes within the framework of continuing series of inspections of industrial, developmental and housing projects that serve the citizens nationwide. The Premier added that the state exerts every effort to push forward the industrial sector, asserting the importance of this sector to promote economic growth via providing promising opportunities to expand industrial zones. Madbouli said the state pays greater attention to the private sector and works on providing convenient atmosphere to boost its ability to grow, develop and increase investments. Egypt expressed its support to any initiative or effort that aims to end the Russian-Ukrainian war, stressing the necessity of making the political solutions as a base for settling the crisis. A foreign ministry statement said that Egypt was following up with concern the consultations in Saudi Arabia to reach solutions that would end the Russian-Ukrainian war, stressing the importance of solving conflicts in peaceful ways according to the UN Charter and the principles of the international law. Considered the main references on which international system and main principles of international relations are based. Minister of Foreign Migration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs Badr Abdelati expressed his aspiration to the support of the United Nations Development Programme in implementing the Arab Plan for the reconstruction of Gaza and benefit from its expertise, especially in the early recovery phase, in preparation for the reconstruction of the Strip. The Foreign Minister remarks came during his meeting with Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and Director of the Regional Bureau for Arab States at the United Nations Development Programme, Abdullah Al-Daredi. During the meeting, they discussed the Arab Plan and the Cairo Ministerial Conference for the Reconstruction of Gaza, which will be organized jointly with the United Nations and the Palestinian government. The minister also asserted Egypt's commitment to support the United Nations efforts to promote the sustainable development in the Arab region, especially in the light of political, social and economic challenges. Hamas said Saturday it would only release an American, Israeli and the bodies of 4 other hostages if Israel implements the existing ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip, calling it an exceptional deal aimed at getting the truce back on track. A senior Hamas official said long-delayed talks over the ceasefire's second phase would need to begin the day of the release and last no longer than 50 days. Israel would also need to stop barring the entry of humanitarian aid and withdraw from a strategic corridor along Gaza's border with Egypt. The official who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the closed-door talks said Hamas would also demand the release of more Palestinian prisoners in exchange for hostages. Negotiations continued in Egypt after senior Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya arrived in Cairo on Friday. Egypt and Qatar served as key mediators with Hamas in reaching the ceasefire and have continued to host talks aimed at getting it back on track. Israeli occupation forces continued their aggression on Tulkarm and its camps, storming the homes and threw sound bombs to horrify its residents and transform them to military barracks. Nur Shams camp also witnessed heavy deployment of occupation troops and huge explosions Saturday's dawn in the surrounding area. The occupation troops also shot live fire on an ambulance and exploded one of Al-Nasr Moscow gates. Earlier, Palestinians said Friday a 21-year-old man was killed by Israeli fire near Nablus in the north of the occupied West Bank, as Israel's military said stone throwers were targeted. The UN Security Council condemned the widespread violence in western Syria since March 6 and urged its transitional authorities to respect all people. Meanwhile, Syrians were set to commemorate the 14th anniversary of their uprising on Saturday for the first time since President Bashar al-Assad was ousted. A demonstration will be held in Umayyad Square in the capital Damascus, the first after years of repression under Assad, during which the square was the sole preserve of the toppled president's supporters. Activists also called on people to gather in Homs, Idlib and Hama at demonstrations raising the slogan "Syria is victorious." By this, dear viewers, we come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned for more. This is Lamia Abdesattar. Thank you for watching.